Good day everyone. We have here our second problem for Chapter 5, Fundamentals of Fluid Flow from the 4th edition of Fluid Mechanics and Hydraulics by DIT 𝐁𝐨𝐫𝐚. Problem 5-14. Water flow at the rate of 8 meter per second through 75 mm diameter pipe 1 and leaves through 65 mm and 70 mm diameter pipes at the rate of 3 meter per second and 3.5 meter per second, respectively, as shown in the figure. Air at the top of the tank escapes through a 65 mm diameter vent. Calculate dH over dt and velocity of airflow through the vent. Assume the flow to be incompressible. The problem has given of diameter 1 equals to 75 mm, velocity 1 equals 8 meter per second, diameter 2 equals 65 mm, velocity 2 equals 3 meter per second, diameter 3 equals 70 mm, velocity 3 equals 3.5 meter per second. V4 is unknown. D4 equals 65 mm. So before that, we must convert mm to meter to have uniform unit. So D1 or 75 mm over 1000 is equals to 0.075 meter. 65 over 1000 is equals to 0.065 meter. 70 over 1000 is equals to 0.07 meter. And 65 over 1000 is equals to 0.065 meter. So next we have here the formula to solve for Q and the area, or the discharge in the area. Q is equals to AV and the area is equals to pi over 4 times d squared. Assuming the flow to be incompressible, so for the formula Qn is equals to Q out. To solve for Qn is equals to A1 times B1. Qn is equals to pi over 4 times d squared times the V1. So equals Qn is equals to pi over 4 times the D1, which is 0.075 meter raised to 2 times 8 meter per second. And next, pi over 4 and 0.005625 meters squared, which is the result for 0.075 times 0.075, and multiply to 8 meter per second. So our Qn is equals to 0.035343 meter squared per cubic meter per second. And for the airflow through the vent, discharge is equals to area times V, velocity. Discharge of air is equals to A times dH over dt. So the given diameter is equals to 600 millimeter, and we need to convert millimeter to meter to have the uniform unit. So 600 millimeter over 1000 is equals to 0.6 meter, considering the air above the tank. So Q force is equals to Q air. Q force is equals to A4 times V4, and the Q air is equals to A times dH over dt. And we need to substitute D given. So pi over 4 is equals to 0.065 meter raised to 2 times the V4 equals pi over 4 times 0.6 meters raised to 2 times 0.04764 meter per second times 0.00318 meter squared, and times V4 equals to 0.01347 cubic meter per second. So to get the value of V4, we are going to multiply 0.00318 meter squared times V4 equals 0.01347 by 1 over 0.00318 meter squared. And then cancel the same unit or the given, and then write the remaining value. So 1 times V4 is equals to 0.01347 cubic meter per second times 1 over 0.00318 meter per second. So cancel the cubic meter minus meter squared, so the remaining is meter per second. The unit is meter per second, so V4 is equals to 4.2358 meter per second. After that, we are going to solve for Q out. Q out is equals to Q1 plus Q3 plus Q air. So pi over 4 times 0.065 m meter raised to 2 times 3 meter per second plus pi over 4 times 0.07 meter raised to 2 times 3.5 meter per second plus pi over 4 times 0.6 meter raised to 2 times dH over dt. So we are going to multiply pi over 4 times 0.065 raised to 2 times 3 meter per second, and the result of 0.00955 cubic meter per second plus multiply pi over 4 times 0.07 meter raised to 2 times 3.5 meter per second is equals to 0.01231232 cubic meter per second plus pi over 4 times 0.6 meter raised to 2, copy, and then copy the D missing, which is the dH over dt. So Q out is equals to 0.02187 cubic meter per second plus 0.28274 meter squared times dH over dt. So Qn is equals to Q out. So our Qn is 0.03534 cubic meter per second equals to 0.02187 cubic meter per second plus 0.28274 meter squared times dH over dt. So 0.03534 cubic meter per second minus to 0.02187 cubic meter per second is equals to 0.28274 meter squared times dH over dt. So to get the value of dH over dt, we need to multiply 0.01347 cubic meter per second equals to 0.28274 meter squared times dH over dt to 1 over to 0.28274 meter squared, and then we need to cancel the same unit, cancel, and write the remaining value. So 1 times 0.01347 cubic meter per second over 0.28274 meter squared equals dH over dt times 1. So 0.0347 cubic meter per second over 0.28274 meter squared. So we need to cubic meter divided by meter squared is equals to m. So the final answer is equals to 0.04764 meter per second equals dH over dt. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching.